All right. Hello again. Here we are,
Hello.
back with Trigger Happy Havoc.
Danganronpa?
Sure.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
If you say so. All right, so
You say what you want to say.
class trial is going to be a little strange this time around.
Yeah,
Well, we don't even know who it is, so
We have-
we can get on that.
we have
we
a
don't-
body.
Yeah,
Kyoko's missing.
but I don't think it's Kyoko that's dead.
There was talk about a 16 student. We need to examine the body more.
Yeah, first.
What we should. What is that? The Monokuma flower, huh? Oh, I guess we already examined that. Is it true? Does it really eat paper, plastic, and people? Anyway, I don't think it's related to the case. I think I'll just stay away.
Okay, I'd rather the button prompts not be for the keyboard.
Yeah, that can make things a tiny bit confusing. Oh, you need to go to L shift to the controls.
Well, it's just that when it comes to the class trial.
It was originally doing it with the controller on there.
Yeah, I know.
What's this?
Give me 2 seconds here. Okay.
Go to.
Found it.
Well, try L shift on the keyboard to see if that'll bring it up.
No, I think because you gotta go to the thing. There, and then now try it.
Oh, wait. Nope. Oh, well. Tis what it is. Let's take a look at this sniff.
Sorry, folks. There's a knife laying on the ground. Is this? It must be the knife that was stuck in the body before it exploded.
Well, the body didn't really explode.
Suppose the explosion must have thrown it over here. The Monokuma file said the knife went all the way through the body, from front to back. That means this knife is what caused the fatal injury? Well, what other knife is there? Either way, this knife looks really familiar.
Yeah, ding dong, it was in your drawer.
Yeah, ding dong. Wait, is this? That's it. It's the knife that person was holding. This is getting really weird. There's too many strange coincidences. That's the knife from your drawer. Whoever the person in the mask was that attacked me last night, they were holding that knife. That same knife is used to stab that same masked attacker we found here.
Except the masked attacker doesn't have gloves.
So maybe this masked person got stabbed because...
Because I think the person must have had gloves or it's somebody different. Because if you look, you don't see the tattoo
they
on the
attacked.
hand.
I was in kind of... I was...
So either there's gloves there, or it's not the same person.
I don't know if it's just the art style, but the knife looks a little bit different.
I was in a kind of trance. Maybe he reacted by grabbing the knife. Maybe then I... No, because it's outside. And if this really is Kyoko, it would mean Kyoko is the one that attacked me. But why the mask? I just don't know. I don't remember anything clearly from last night. No, it can't be. There's no way.
Thanks.
We checked the body more thoroughly. He's gonna find out for sure if it's Kyoko or not.
Let's check it.
Huh? Something weird about the body's fingernails. Oh, these are fake nails. They're really long. They seem like they get in the way of normal activity.
Yeah, it'd be hard to wear those gloves, show. Is bored with bored. War with those long ass fake nails.
And it's a wolf.
Wasn't something on the back of her right hand? Is this a tattoo? It got burned, so I can't make out the whole thing, but...
Kind of a dog.
It's a dog or a wolf, maybe?
Wolf and a star.
Looks like it's a picture of a dog or something. Never seen anything like it before.
What you looking for? Oh.
Alright.
Oh, God.
Alright.
What else?
What else? We gotta rip down here.
The lower half of the body didn't get wet at all.
Why is it wet?
As the body blew up, the top.
Oh, right, because he dumped
Oh,
the
right,
water.
The top half got set on fire, so I dumped a bucket of water on it. Which explains why the bottom half isn't wet. There's nothing strange about that, right?
Isn't there? If the body was here when the sprinklers went off.
Yeah, it should be wet.
That is kind of strange. The white jacket the victim was wearing got totally burnt up. There's only one little piece left. The upper half of the body got set on fire in the explosion, so it's totally blackened. Also,
Oh, we found the blackened.
this guy! Also, the top half of the body is wet.
Yeah, you threw water on it. Ding dong.
Ding dong. That's because it got set on fire and I threw water on it. Since I only threw water at the part that was on fire, the top half, the bottom half is still dry. In other words, there's nothing strange about the top half being wet. There isn't, right? But there's something strange about the bottom half not being.
Exploded body analysis.
Is the mask still on the face?
It's kind of hard to tell. I think that's everything.
That's it? There's way more you could have looked for.
Well, let me do.
These look like fragments of something.
Yeah.
They're all burnt, so I can't really be sure, but I feel like I've seen something like it before. But where? Wait, was it there? I'll have to double check that later.
Mind filling this in, Makoto?
Fragments near the dead body.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely does look familiar, but I don't know where it could be
Check the
from.
monitor, maybe? Chicken coop? Okay, maybe the chicken coop?
Remember there's some chickens in the chicken coop.
No, there's only 5.
Count.
There's only 4.
I count 4 chickens.
Yeah.
Huh? 4?
The missing chicken. Yo! What's going on, Makoto?
Oh, I'm glad you're here. Listen, do you remember how many chickens there were in here?
Of course. There were precisely 5.
Yeah, right?
What's wrong?
There's only 4 chickens here now. We're 1 short. That's so weird. I wonder when it disappeared.
I don't know. What did you have for breakfast this morning? I was down here just before nighttime last night, and there were definitely 5 chickens then. What? What are we gonna do? Going from 5 to 4 is gonna have an impact on the structure of the world.
What?
Conspiracy!
It's like a jigsaw puzzle. If even a single piece disappears, the entire world will remain unfinished.
Okay.
Okay. I did my best to ignore Hero and focus on the problem at hand.
God.
Why did one of the chickens disappear? Could it be related to the case?
I don't know, just...
Anything's important in a case.
Your tool shed, check to see if any of, like, fertilizer stuff is missing.
To be sure, I should take a look at the tool shed.
There was a bomb, so...
Yeah.
This room is dusty and disorganized. In other words, a pretty stereotypical tool shed. Is this a tarp?
It's dirty.
Wait, was
No,
there
it's
a,
not.
No, there
was
wasn't.
there a tarp in here before? I should probably look into that. It could be related to the case. Well, These sauropods have nothing to do with the case.
Well, okay, Detective Makoto.
Top is wet and covered with mud and grime. But the underside is totally clean and completely dry.
So the body must have been covered by the tarp when the sprinklers went off.
One side of that tarp is wet and dirty. Something about that bothers me.
But okay. But the side that got wet should not also be dirty. The underside should be dirty, like where it was lying against the body, and the top part would be wet.
Well, the knife handle would have kept it from touching the body.
That's the one thing in here that concerns me.
Sure, there was more stuff to check. But
Yeah, but you just say this has nothing to do with the case.
The flower pods are
Yes,
not.
just talk to people.
The flower pods are not related to the case. Well, thank you, Detective
I wasn't sure
Makoto.
if checking the fertilizer would mean anything.
You can do it if you want.
That's all I wanted to check because I also looked and I didn't see anything else. I didn't see anything missing particularly.
I really hope there aren't any clues hidden in the fertilizer. Clues.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay. Better to be thorough. Good timing, Makoto. I wanted to talk to you.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
So in other words,
I'd like to hear your alibi.
Alibi?
in other words,
Correct. I'd love to hear where you were after nighttime began last night.
In bed.
Well, I was sick, so I was asleep all night. But why?
Oh, sorry.
But why are you asking about that now? And what's nighttime got to do with it?
naturally.
Isn't it obvious this murder took place after nighttime?
How can you know that for sure?
Because just after nighttime began, I came to the garden. I was going around looking for everyone so I could tell them about Monokuma. Hiro's been spending most of his time in the garden the last few days, so I figured he'd be here. And I can confirm that when I arrived last night, there was no body here.
In other words,
So the murder could only have taken place at some point during the nighttime, after I left the garden. However, Toko, Hiro, Hina, and I were in the gym together the entire night last night.
What?
Once I found Hiro in the garden, we immediately went to Toko and Hina's rooms to get them. At that point, we all went to the gym and began dismantling Monokuma. As a precaution, we made sure not to go anywhere alone, and we even went to the bathroom in pairs. In other words, all four of us have airtight alibis. The only ones who don't have alibis are... Oh, that's you.
Are me and Kyoko.
that's right.
And if the victim really is Kyoko...
Then I'm the only one without an alibi.
Also, when we went to go get Hina and Toko, we stopped by your room as well.
What?
But you never came to the door, so where
Because
precisely
he
were
was
you?
sleeping. I'm telling the truth. I was in my room, but I was dead asleep. I had a fever, so...
That's hardly an alibi.
I know.
So, what now? You seem to be at quite the disadvantage here.
So I'm automatically the killer then. I'm the one who was at an alibi. That's really bad, isn't it? But we don't even know this Kyoko. So if it's not Kyoko that's the victim, then Kyoko could also very well be the killer. I don't want Kyoko to be the killer.
Excuse me, folks. It's 11 o'clock right now.
Okay, and?
You're serious?
Oh, well, I was just thinking about when we first found the body.
When the body was found, huh? I just looked back at what I did this morning to help me remember when that was. Monokuma's announcement woke me up at 7 o'clock as usual, and I headed for the dining hall pretty soon. Once I got there, I met up with Hina. That was right around 7:30. Then I headed to the gym where everyone else was waiting. Next, Toko went to go get the pickaxe, and that's when she found the body. What time was it then?
Now then, Toko, what time is it?
Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now.
That's right. It had to have been right around 9 o'clock.
You know?
Oh, now that you mention it, I think you're right. So I think we can say for sure the body was found at 9 a.m. Okay, my job's done.
That's a pretty small job. When the body was found, has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Thanks for your contribution, Hero.
Do you not like Hero?
Listen, Makoto, do you remember how the body looked, before it blew up?
If I remember right, it was wearing some kind of mask and a big white coat.
Hand is up.
Okay. Also, there's a knife sticking out of the stomach, and the seat in the area around it was stained with blood. Apparently the wound had stopped bleeding, but the blood on the body was still wet. Yaki said not to touch it to avoid getting all bloody. But for how much blood there was on the body, I didn't see any on the ground around it.
Okay. Wow, thanks. That was a big help. Now that you explained it, I totally remember how it looked.
Well, having to talk about it like that helped me remember it a lot better, too. So thank you, too. Body before the explosion. I like how it said, exploded body analysis.
So who does that body belong to? Whoever it is, I'm not gonna look. I don't want to faint anymore.
There's no blood on it, right? Anymore?
It's still a dead body.
Oh.
What else do we need to check?
It's all done in here.
Oh.
That thing. What is that?
This is the sprinkler.
Oh. This is a panel that controls the sprinklers. It's set to turn on at 7:30 every morning. And Onakuma said the time positively couldn't be changed. Huh? Hold on. The sprinklers turn on at 7:30 each morning, right? Then, if the body was here before then, the sprinklers would have gotten it wet. Which would mean the murder must have taken place. Sprinklers are gonna have a little blood.
How long do the sprinklers last for? That would be another
Yeah, I
question.
think I've checked everything I need to in this area. But I'm not done yet. There are other areas I need to check. Specifically that fragment I found before. Somewhere I need to go in order to confirm my suspicions. Still need to find out more about Kyoko.
I'm trying to think of places.
That course really Kyoko? If that's true. That also Kyoko who attacked me last night? If I can find out more about her, maybe I can answer that question. Kyoko was never the kind of person to talk about herself all that much. Maybe if I can get into her room, I'll be able to find out more. But the key to her
Akio
room,
should still have the key.
key to her room.
It's all clear now.
I will simply limit your options. I can't allow you to engage in any further suspicious activity.
What? Limit my options?
Just give up.
Give me the key to your room.
I don't have a choice. I have to see if you'll let me borrow her room key. Hey, Byakuya?
If you do come up with an alibi, I'd be happy to hear it later at the class trial.
Oh, no, it's not about that. You have the key to Kyoko's room, right? I was hoping I could borrow it.
Come with me.
I'm afraid I can't take that risk. You're the prime suspect,
Then
after
come
all.
with me.
What?
Of course, if I were to go with you, that would be a different story.
Sure.
Then come with me. Then will you go with me?
Sorry, I have my own agenda to take care of. Find me again later and we'll see.
Goodbye.
Depending on my mood, I may go with you. Or I may not.
Come back later, huh?
Just punch him out and take it.
Okay, then in the meantime, I should look around somewhere else. I don't really like Byakuya, to be honest. I didn't read that.
And you have to check out the one area.
Sorry. What one area?
Check the dojo. It's right across.
I don't see anything that looks like the explosion fragments in here. Crime and Netley.
Crime and Netley, Trigger. You check the lab? The bio lab?
Isn't that closed though?
It is, but you never know.
It could be open now. Now that the investigation started. Yeah.
So
Well,
then
no
maybe
entry.
the next floor down, so it's on the 4th floor.
Maybe the data center? We've got to look everywhere, right? So maybe data center next? Okay.
It
Oh.
looks familiar, but I can't.
Place it?
Like normally I'm pretty good with like, oh yeah, that's from over here, but for some reason.
Well, I mean, it's getting harder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything's back to normal. Just like with Sayaka and Taka, Monokuma is responsible, I'm sure.
See something here.
You don't suppose it was one of the secret areas?
So, let's check the data center, see if something's missing from there. Sorry.
Data center, office, headmaster's office, and the music room. Bathrooms.
Why? Did you want to check somewhere else?
No, I'm just looking.
No, I was talking to Dad.
No. Doesn't look like it came from here.
No.
Oh, I mean, you gotta be safe, right? This creepy door is a picture of Monokuma. What the heck could be inside?
Check the office.
Headmaster's office?
Oh, we just passed the office.
Oh, well, I don't need to check that out.
As much as we can.
This is just a room with way too many potted plants.
Yeah.
Is that the headmaster's office?
Headmaster's office is right there.
What?
It's locked again.
Kyoko said Sakura had broken the lock on this door. That means it's been fixed already?
Probably.
Well, I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. So then if that's
Alright, well,
locked-
where were those secret places?
Like in the bathroom on the 2nd floor.
Yeah, and then there was the one where we plugged what's-his-face into the network.
That's still the same place.
Alter ego?
Bathroom on the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor. Just check the music room though. Anyway, like let's check everything.
I just don't think it's going to be any of these.
Gotta check everywhere.
Alright. The secret place is the bathroom on the 2nd floor. Nobody went there. No, should I teleport it?
Yeah.
This is where the bathroom cleaning supplies are stored. Also leads to the figure room.
Yeah.
I'll probably avoid going in.
Shit.
So it's
No.
not there. Alright.
Yeah. Or maybe it is Makoto.
What the hell?
This pretty much means we're gonna have to search everywhere.
Yep, so back to the 3rd floor then.
Yep.
You know, Makoto, if you remember where it is,
You could gladly.
could have been like, oh yeah, that's from here. She said that one room.
Well, Makoto, if everything's back to normal, just like we said, Kentako. Well, Makoto, if you want to let us know, we're all ears.
The rec room. Go to the art room. Physics lab.
I mean, what would be different about the art room? Oh, wait, maybe in there.
Well, it could have been a piece of sculpture or something.
Yeah, it just had a very specific red.
Mm-hmm.
Thing on it. Makoto.
See anything in here?
I'm hoping that as soon as you walk into the right room, it'll be like,
Oh, sorry, folks. Huh?
it's alright. It's a pain in the butt, but in reality, there aren't that many. Like, it's not like we have 100 rooms to check.
Makoto, next time, be more specific.
Maybe it was something on the display case outside the gym?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Wait, wasn't it the bomb?
But the bomb was like a round thing, wasn't it? Oh yeah, maybe we should go check the gym.
Yeah.
Check to see if that bomb's still there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think I might be on the right track with this. Cause I'm pretty sure the bomb did have some sort of red thing on it, right?
Yeah. Display case is missing.
There's an exclamation mark in here.
Monica was laying dismantled on the floor, but I figured it wouldn't be here.
You know?
I just found something. What is it?
It's.
Oh, that's it. It's what?
So I was right?
Yeah, you were right, buddy.
There's one installed in every Monokuma robot, I'm sure. A bomb?
So it was here when they left.
Yeah.
That
Or
bomb.
it wasn't here,
was
because
missing.
somebody picked it up.
Yeah.
So they're airtight
No doubt about that.
alibis,
The fragments I found in the garden.
I don't think are as airtight as Byakuya is making them out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, that's the bomb, I think. I figured that out.
Good.
Kyoko's room. Should head back to the garden and ask Byakuya.
But I don't want to talk to him. He's a jerk.
Yeah, he's a big old dick.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really like
Is it on
Byakuya.
the 5th floor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the garden. He's at the garden. He's at the garden.
Hey, guess what, Byakuya? That's a piece of the bomb.
Think you can go soon, Byakuya?
Let's go.
You wanted to check out Kyoko's room, right? Very well, let's go.
Wait for me! Byakuya walked off with a second glance, and I hurried after him on our way to the dorms.
So Kyoko's room is...
Crazy haired.
No, she's right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like the first one.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's what I was pointing to. Crazy haired.
Crazy bird.
Oh wait, no, that's Hero, I think.
Well then, here we go.
He took out the key and slid into the keyhole. I think I was thinking of Hero. Crazy hair?
And it's open.
Looks like it. Thanks. You're the piece of the bomb. The bomb. So, this is Kyoko's room.
What is that on her table?
We need to check it. That there's something on the table. It's a wood block decoration.
That's a locker number from the dojo? The one place had wooden lockers.
Yeah.
What?
What's that? What purpose does it serve?
I think it's probably a key. The lockers at those really traditional public bathhouses use them for their lockers.
I wouldn't know. I've never gone to a public bathhouse.
It doesn't really surprise me. It's hard to picture Byakuya doing something like that.
It's certainly
But if it is a key, I think I might know what it unlocks.
Really? What?
Unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure I saw something in the dojo that this might do.
Yep.
This might go to.
The dojo? Yeah, you know, the samurai place.
Checking anything else in them?
Found her. She's hiding under the bed. I'm just kidding. No matter what. Oh.
Walk in, she's just sleeping.
Oh, there she is! Here's her bed. Don't worry, she's just sleeping, guys. I don't see anything interesting here. At least not as far as the case is concerned.
Check the desk.
What desk?
What?
Oh, no,
What?
won't let you. Okay. Just look to see if the sewing kit's still there.
This is one of the models Monokuma appears on. It seems pretty. Actually, no. It's why do I keep reading things?
Talk to Byakuya again. It keeps coming up.
Yeah. Let's check the bathroom.
Can't get in.
Because she might have certain articles hanging out the door. Better follow up inside.
What?
You wanted to come here, right? So what is it you're looking for?
Nothing in particular. I just thought we might find some kind of clue here. Because it might help us understand Kyoko.
Come on.
Excuse me. You can't be serious. That's why you made me take time out of my search to come here?
Sorry.
Oh, we found him.
Regardless, if you plan on poking around at random, you're doomed no matter how much time you take. Surely you have something more concrete, something to give us some sort of direction here.
More concrete. Oh, I know. Earlier, Kyoko gave me something. Huh? What's this?
It's true. Consider it a symbol of my determination. Don't open it yet. Only open it if something ever happens to me.
I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Found it.
What's in the envelope?
Joe,
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Kyoko gave it to me. She said if something ever happened, I should open it.
Well,
Interesting.
something has certainly happened, so open it.
Okay. Open the envelope and looked inside. Inside was a single piece of paper. Under the sheets?
What?
That's all that was in there?
Yeah, it looks like it, but that sounds pretty important. Under the sheets? What could it be?
Sheets?
Yeah, maybe check the bed sheets again. But could something be hidden under the bed sheets? Part of me didn't expect to find anything, but as I lifted up the sheets. What's this? Found a crumpled up piece of paper. Class 78 student registry.
Number
Mukuro
78.
Ikusaba.
Mukuro Ikusaba.
I see.
It appears to be Mukuro Ikusaba's profile.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's probably the other thing Kyoko stole when she snuck into the headmaster's room, along with the key. God, you're so annoying! Fine, I'll tell you where the key and blank. That's it! This must be the blank. that Monokuma was talking about. Kyoko said a death without meaning was unappealing, and this is what she left behind.
I don't have time for your sentimental indulgences. Hurry up and finish your search.
Okay. I made an effort to pull myself together and look down at the profile sheet. Name, Mukuro Ikusaba. Sex, female. The ultimate soldier.
Oh boy.
Although small of her age, she was a military specialist trained in every weapon type imaginable. She showed an interest in the military from childhood and soon found herself completely absorbed in it. In elementary school, she won a survival game tournament and began writing for military magazines. Just before entering middle school, while she and her family were on vacation in Europe, she disappeared. The story of a young Japanese girl being kidnapped quickly took over Japanese media outlets. An intense internal investigation turned up no information, and she was never found. However, she reappeared in Japan 3 years later, alone and completely unannounced. She revealed that she had joined a mercenary group known as Fenrir for those 3 years. She insisted that she hadn't been kidnapped, that she had received battle training of her own volition. However, she never revealed why she decided to return home when she did. Okay, that's probably important. The ultimate soldier, a mercenary group. This doesn't feel real. The world I grew up in is like a completely different dimension. It's like one's non-fiction and the other is sci-fi. There's no way to even compare the two. That's how different this is. That was how I saw things as just an ordinary person. But then...
I see.
I never imagined I would hear the name Fenrir in a place like this.
Huh? You recognize it?
Naturally.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps is a collection of battle-crazed warmongers. But they do have their uses, and they always get the job done. That's worth remembering.
This is all part of a world totally removed from the one I live in.
I have to say, I'm intrigued. Every rumor I've heard says that Fenrir has already...
Found it.
Whoa! I feel like our hero is becoming a bit player, and a bit player is becoming our hero! Ah, it's you. What have you got in your pretty little hand there? Uh-oh, you found her profile? So what if we did?
Hey.
Don't freak out on me. Not gonna hold it against you or anything. And in case you're wondering, I don't hold it against Kyoko either, even though she stole it and hid it. After all, there's no rule against stealing, is there? But who I can't forgive is Miss Ogami, who broke the rules and busted into the headmaster's room.
Well, she's dead now, so.
Maybe I'll drag her corpse out here and slice it up and devour it. Bears are omnivores, you know.
What?
Are rule violations really so unforgivable? You're quite adamant about those regulations of yours.
Of course I am. A proper school life is built on the dedication to organization and order. Which is why even I, as a school headmaster, had to follow the regulations myself. I accidentally
Oh, so you're saying you have to
there.
follow your own rules as well?
Of course.
Absolutely. Can't have you complaining about how unfair it all is, now can I? In fact, on the subject of fairness, would you like to know something interesting? No. Interesting? I'm just kidding. It's about the one writing all the rules. They're actually one of the participants in this killing game. I haven't actually told you how many participants there actually were, did I? I'm thinking I should probably clarify that.
Hey.
When you all first got together in the main hall way back when there were 15 people here, right? I think that first meeting may have led you to a little misunderstanding among you all. Misunderstanding? Are you saying...
In other words.
That's right. there weren't
we're
actually
just-
15 of you.
We're just investigating the murder that happened in the last episode.
Yeah, you're not really missing
Hey, what's
much.
up, Lucas?
We found the profile of that 16th student hidden in Kyoko's room.
Mukuro Igasaba.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
The total number of students taking part in this killing game was actually 16. 16? Then
Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her.
the 16th student, Mukuro Igasaba. She's part of this school life. So the one making all the regulations is...
Why?
Did you say something?
Why are you telling us this?
Oh, well, because... Like I told you, this killing game is desperately popular. You wouldn't believe the ratings. And since we got so many viewers now, I wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page. I don't want to wake up to a hurricane of complaints and hate mail, you know?
Yes, indeed.
Make sense? No, not really. Okay, that's all you get for now. Oh, actually, I do have some revenge to get, so I have an extra bonus for you. Revenge? My sister threw a look at me. Oops. I want to get back at that sneaky Miss Kirigiri, so I'm going to share a little secret with you. Seriously? For serious?
Hey,
You know how she wears those stupid gloves day in, day out, all the time? My sister threw a milk bag and
Oh,
it exploded
no.
all over me.
Oh.
Oof.
You got milked.
Well, don't tell anyone I told you, but she must have thrown it hard. Don't tell anyone I told you, but she wears them to cover a bunch of hideous scars that she doesn't want anyone to see. What?
That hand just had a tattoo. There were no scars on it.
Okay, now that's all you get.
At least the milk wasn't frozen.
Oh, God. Monaco's account. Kyoko wears those gloves to cover up a bunch of scars? Wait, so on the back of her hand, the tattoo. Wait, but no. Monokuma specifically said there were scars, right? That's why Kyoko wears those gloves, to hide the scars. Which means those fake nails on the corpse. I go, great, thanks, Sophia. Now I'm milked, and I BST had to shower.
Are you thinking about Kyoko again?
Huh?
What?
Forget about her. What matters right now is uncovering Monokuma's trap.
His trap?
Such
God
ignorance.
must have really hated you to make you so dull. Don't you remember what Monokuma just told us?
He said there were 16 students, right? Which means Mukuro was a student here.
That's right.
Obviously, Monokuma was trying to tell us that Makuro is the one creating the rules to the game. But why would he tell us that, and why now?
He said he wanted to make things clear so there wouldn't be any complaints later.
But the mere fact that he said that proves that Makuro is connected to this case. That's why Monokuma revealed the existence of a 16th student. He needs to make our investigation fair.
Mukuro is related to the case?
It's certainly
Perhaps she's the
possible.
one who killed Kyoko.
Or maybe she's the one who's dead? What?
That would explain why we would have to have a class trial, wouldn't it? If she's a student and she killed someone, that would make her part of the school killing game.
Mukuro is the killer? She killed Kyoko?
Anyone should be able to come to that conclusion, don't you think? In fact, that's exactly what I thought when the investigation first began.
What?
But, based on what Monokuma just told us, I've changed my mind.
It's all clear.
Makuru Ikusaba isn't the culprit.
Huh? What makes you say that?
We thought Makuru, the ultimate despair, was the mastermind's true identity. But if that's true, Monokuma's behavior makes no sense. Why would the mastermind go out of their way to reveal themselves to us?
That's a good point.
So, in other words,
Makuru giving us information that would raise questions about her would be bold, to say the least. It makes more sense, then, to assume that Makuru isn't the culprit.
So that's a trap. They want us to suspect Makuro and come to the wrong conclusion.
That's what makes sense to me.
The way you say it, it definitely does seem possible. But if that's really true, if Makuro isn't the killer, then who is?
Well then, I believe our work here is finished. Let's move on. I'm sure there are other places in need of investigation.
I should find out if the key and the dojo really are connected.
let's go.
Well, are you coming?
Oh, 6. There are wooden lockers here. They use woodblock keys, just like the super traditional public bathhouses. It looks like the key we found in Kyoko's room really does go to one of these lockers.
I see.
Makoto, do you see the locker furthest to the right?
Very strange.
That's the only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. You understand what that means, right?
I should probably use the key we found on that locker, right?
That's right.
Well, just try it.
Okay. I took out the woodblock key and inserted it into the locker's metal lock, and click! The locker eagerly accepted the key, and it opened.
That's a
Oh!
lot of arrows.
There are arrows in here. It looks like 10 arrows in total.
They look like they're made of titanium, which means they're quite strong despite how thin they are. Of course, without a bow, they're nothing but strong little sticks.
Strong sticks? Titanium arrows. Oh, there's something else inside the locker.
You know,
It's a wadded up ball of duct tape. I wonder what this is used for.
looks like it has blood on it.
Is that a blood stain?
I see.
If it is,
If it is, that means it must surely be related to the case.
this duct tape is related to the case somehow? But how can it possibly be involved? Alright, could you read my lines for me? I need to go to the bathroom.
I think that's all the locker has to offer for now. Is something wrong?
Very strange.
It's very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Or perhaps... Byakuya? Forget it. Come on, we need to continue on to the next location. Huh? What next location?
What?
There's still something we need to look into. We need to do more research on
The
Fenrir.
archive. Archive.
Fenrir? You mean the mercenary group that Makuro was part of? But how are we supposed to find out about that? Isn't it obvious? Where in this school would you go to do research on something? Research. Are you talking about the archive? That's right. The archive has all kinds of info that the general public doesn't have access to.
Let's go.
We only have so much time before the trial begins. Let's hurry.
Alright, I'm back, folks. What did I miss?
Could you take over for me?
Sure.
I believe there was a file related to Fenrir somewhere over here.
Wait, there's a... Oh. Byakuya seemed to know the archive like the back of his hand and went straight to a shelf in the back. Ah, here we go. He quickly returned with a file in hand.
I see.
Take a look at this. I have no idea what it says. What language is this? How did you make it all the way to high school without learning a single word of French? I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can't speak French. Well, whatever, I'll read it for you, but I expect you to repay your debt 100 times over. 100 times? Isn't that kind of extreme? Fenrir is... actually, I'm going to do Kyoko's voice for this. Fenrir is an elite fighting unit based out of the Middle East. Unlike military contractors, they are a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire company of regular soldiers. Unless you're Canadian. That's true. Then you know a lot of French. It's like Fenrir. The Wolf of Ragnarok. Their mere presence is enough to strike fear into an enemy. They have been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. However, some time ago, they completely ceased all activity. At present, their continued existence cannot be confirmed. There are unconfirmed reports that the key members of the group are all neutralized. Rumors indicate they were killed to keep them from revealing the many state secrets they'd acquired. I was accepted from French, and I'm not sure how or why. Some, however, believe there is mounting internal tension with the group, and they simply imploded. What is it? This all just sounds like some kind of alternate reality. Well, it isn't. This is our reality, the only reality. These people are part of our world. Their battlefields are much different from our lives here. Unpredictable, unimaginable world.
How did you manage to get exempted from French?
That's what makes it all so exciting. Exciting definitely isn't the word I would use. So, did anything jump out at you? This may be your last opportunity to learn about Fenrir. Now that you mention it, okay, Ragnar. The report says something about where the name Fenrir comes from, right?
The wolf.
That's
Wolf
right.
of Ragnarok. Remember on the hand?
Yeah, that's right. It said Fenrir is the Wolf of Ragnarok. Speaking of which, would you like to know something interesting related to that? Sure. Show that they're a member of the team. Each soldier that joins the squad
I believe he's also the
will
son
get
of
a
Loki.
tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body. What?
That just became a lot more important.
They get a tattoo of Fenrir? Could that mean Mukuro Ikasaba's profile? Dong, bing, bong. Oh god, is this the class trial?
It is.
Oh jeez. That is nice. I don't know, I just said I never took French because I was homeschooled from grade 4 to grade 9. They said I could pick a third elective and I got to skip French completely. Huh. Time is...
Oh, sorry, I thought you were ready.
By little until the end.
It's fine because he's reading it.
Think about that. Anyway, it's time to begin the class trial.
Hooray! I know like
Meet up in
nothing.
the usual spot. See you
See you
later.
later.
And the time has come.
All we can do now is try to uncover the truth during the class trial.
That's right.
Truth.
It would seem that way. Let's go.
How is Kyoko gonna be there? She's missing.
She needs to be, doesn't she? I don't think you can skip a class trial.
She's not there.
Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together?
Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word.
We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point?
Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together. Just the two of you? What, are you jealous?
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second.
Monokuma,
You got that?
any second. He could show up at any time. I was just saying, you know. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared
Shit
myself.
myself.
But he stood there for 5 full minutes waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma showed up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again?
What should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or?
Oh, what?
Jesus!
Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that?
What? I made you wait? You got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we?
What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all
No,
been
Kyoko.
waiting for you.
Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now. So it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? You don't agree with violation. I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're...
If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here.
When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
Hey,
I'm here, and no rule's been broken.
Kyoko!
Kyoko, you're still alive?
No, that's a ghost!
Stop talking.
If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong?
So selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you. When Monokuma was gone, he'll rush up.
Oh, sorry. You want me to just wait for a minute?
Do you want to just take a quick fiver? Cause we also usually take a quick fiver before the trial.
Okay. Do you need a break? Quick 5 minutes?
Yeah, I was hoping to get like a snack or something, or a couple like something to drink. So it's okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick fiver, maybe fill up our drinks, get some stuff to eat.
And we'll be back real soon. we have returned.
Yep.
And we're about to go into the class trial. Yeah, can I just say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
With all this murder and suspicion and crap flying around, can these kids not just take... Sorry.
Kyoko, I already read it.
Oh. Can these kids not just take a few minutes to enjoy the amenities of this place?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like...
So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die.
Sorry, what do you know?
Thank God, I'm so glad you're okay.
Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us.
Huh?
He's right. Now we've got to deal with a ghost.
I told you, stop talking.
Are you talking with permission, Kyoko?
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial.
I was looking directly at Kyoko. Byaki has stepped into the elevator.
Master, wait for me.
Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
I'll be happy when this trial is all over.
One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before I get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? Sorry. You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms.
Second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that. I had no idea a body had been discovered.
Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now, I finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to trial completely uninformed, can I?
So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting.
But if you're on the second floor of the dorms, that's what... Then what's... That's what the key you found goes to.
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school.
What?
That's the key.
Oh. Kyoko's account.
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Talking. What does it look like, Hannah?
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me.
For her? That's a
Well, I
strange way
mean,
to
she's
put it.
going to draw suspicion given that she was gone for like 2 days.
The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would you say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Use your brain. Well, if that's all.
Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way into the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right?
You're underthinking it like you always do.
Come on, Makoto, use your brain.
You underthink everything. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut. Look at how empty it is. This time the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. Can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. It's an immeasurable period of time. Doors opened without warning. Dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes.
Ooh, what's the new,
But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope.
new decor?
It was the blinding light of despair.
Is that a thing?
Ooh! Ah!
I can't wait.
I've been waiting for this! I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has been past. Or has passed. Let's get on with the show! And so the curtain opened for the fifth time. Deadly judgment. Yeah, I was gonna say
Judgment,
something.
deception, betrayal.
Riddle, defense, phase, class trial.
All deadly.
All
Everybody's
deadly.
dead. Even the freaking plants.
Even the walls.
Set skills.
Well, I just want to go over our truth bullets.
Oh, right.
Monokuma File 5. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe.
I think that was the cause of death.
The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
So we don't know what that object was.
Well, I think... Was there more to it?
No?
Oh. Oh no, I guess not. Exploded body analysis. The explosion has burned the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire and had to be extinguished. Because of this, the upper half was soaking wet while the bottom half remained dry.
Oh, was there more?
No.
Oh, okay. No, it's just from where I was sitting, and there looked like there was a...
And the body was wearing notably long fake nails. No! The body had a tattoo of a dog on the back of the right hand.
That seems weird, too. Would somebody who's like the ultimate soldier be wearing fake nails like that? It doesn't seem to fit.
Fragments of the dead body. There were bits of charred debris near the body.
Dippers.
It should be noted that the bomb which had been removed from Monokuma in the gym had disappeared. It's hard to imagine these two events are unrelated. Okay, thank you. The Sprinkler program to come on every morning at 7:30, and this time is impossible to change. As such, it can be assumed that if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, it would have gotten wet.
It still would have been wet. Unless that tarp.
7
Tarp
a.m.
has something to do with it.
Okay. 7 a.m. Makoto wakes to the morning announcement. 7:30 a.m. Makoto and Aoi arrive in the dining hall. 7:30 to 9 a.m. Makoto meets the others in the gym, and together they head to the headmaster's room. 9 a.m. Toko is told to find the pickaxe in the garden where she discovered the body. Where?
Okay. Alright, so before we do anything,
Sorry.
the body was there before the sprinklers,
Right.
and the tarp was used to keep it from getting wet. When was the tarp removed?
Right.
Because Toko was the one that found the body, passed out, and became Genocide Jill. And came back without the pickaxe. Oh yeah, there's a body there.
Yeah.
But then the tarp was folded and put back in the tool shed.
So the other option is the tarp was used to carry the body there from where it was actually
Right.
killed.
Right.
And then the body was placed after 7:30.
But 7:30 is stated where everybody has their head alibi.
Right.
Knife at the crime scene. The knife found near the body was the same knife that was used to stab it before the explosion. It is also the same knife that Toko had given to Makoto for safekeeping, and the knife the masked assailant was holding when they attacked Makoto. Tarp. The tarp was hidden among the other items in the tool shed. One side was wet and filthy with mud and grime. The other side was completely clean and dry. The number of chickens in the chicken coop had decreased from 5 to 4. Yasuhiro claimed that there were without a doubt 5 chickens just before nighttime last night, and yet... Byakuya's account. Byakuya stated that there was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night, so it can be assumed the murder must have taken place sometime after that. Byakuya also said that he, Yasuhiro, Toko, and Aoi were in the gym the entire night. None of them were alone at any point.
Okay. So, it's going under the assumption that the murder took place right there.
Right.
It might not have.
Right.
The murder could have taken place at any time, and the body was stashed, and then carried to that place later. Right?
Dwarves had a mask covering his head and a white jacket covering the body. A knife had been thrust into the abdomen, and there were bloodstains around the wound. The body stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground around the body.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. That's chicken blood.
Mukuro Ikasaba's profile. Mukuro Ikasaba, female known as the ultimate troll. She became been obsessed with the military.
Been obsessed?
That's
Nice
what,
wording game.
that's what it says. She became obsessed with the military from a young age. She disappeared while on vacation in Europe and reappeared in Japan 3 years later. Apparently every member of Fenrir gets a tattoo somewhere on their body to represent their membership in the group. Monokuma's account. Apparently the killing game began with 16 participants, all students. It is assumed that Mukuro Ikasaba was the 16th student. Monokuma also revealed that the reason Kyoko wears gloves is to hide something she doesn't want anyone to see. The scars that he mentioned. Woodblock key. This woodblock key decoration was found in Kyoko's room. It looked like it's actually the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. Titanium arrows. A set of titanium arrows was found in a dojo locker. There appeared to be 10 in total. Bloody duct tape. Along with the arrows, there was also a wadded up ball of duct tape in the locker. The duct tape had traces of blood on it. It's assumed that this case is related to the case, but nobody can imagine how. Kyoko's account. Kyoko used Monokuma's secret tool, which grants access to any room in the school, to sneak into the second floor of the dorms. This area seems to have no monitors or security cameras.
Wait, is that that one staircase that you can't access?
I think so, yeah.
Now we need to, is it our skills? Oh. God dang. Well, I don't know why I'm so scared all
We
the
have
time.
2 skill points.
Yeah, I think cool and composed is 2, right? Or is it 3?
Steadies your aim a little. Effective during the non-stop debate in the Hangman's Gambit.
That might be the only one we have left.
Oh, what's vocabulary? Increases bullet capacity, effective in the bullet time battle.
That's 4 points, so we'd have to get rid of something.
Are you going for
Get rid
that?
of something or use the cool and compose and then just start trying to make friends to make up to be able to use all of them.
Alright.
So cool and composed. I think that's all we have, right?
Yep.
Okay. Finish preparations. Let's go. Trial. All right.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class.
Yes,
trial.
we know,
If
Monokuma.
you can figure out
Who done it?
It seems every time. How many trials have we been through already?
Yeah, we've been through like what?
4.
Yeah, we've been
This is
through
number 5.
we've been through 5, and she's told us every freaking trial we've been through.
Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
What?
Right there.
Oh, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god, Hero.
To how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
What?
Then let's compare
Well, that's the only way to
Kyoko's
get to the
traits
hero.
to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has. Kyoko's gloves.
Gloves.
Yep.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
Makoto.
You happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Yep.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Oh
I'm
no,
not
no.
convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Oh, Hero.
Hero, please don't make me mad. There's no way that corpse is Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to. Are we seriously gonna do a bullet time battle? Oh, no, okay. I have a feeling.
Tattoo on right hand, exploded body analysis, or fake nails.
Alright, well, let's just see what they have to say and then we can decide.
Yeah.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
Ghosts
The dead
aren't
body
real.
wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because
No,
that
she wasn't.
corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
She wasn't, though.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Fake nails will stop you from wearing the gloves.
Right, the other thing is we could see that she wasn't wearing gloves before the explosion. So which bullet is it?
That Kyoko there is just a
think-
ghost.
That's exploded body analysis, so that's not gonna help.
Okay,
So I think it's fake nails.
prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
That?
Yeah.
Because that corpse is
Oh, come on.
absolutely Kyoko.
This entire
That corpse is
discussion
absolutely
idiotic.
Kyoko. Hero, you're hardly making me mad, but are we seriously doing?
You can silence
Kyoko there
those,
is
like,
just a ghost.
purple things out of the way, too, if it's in the way.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
Because I watch
The dead body
certain
wasn't
YouTubers, I'm not
wearing
gonna say do that.
They
And get
got
points
burnt
off
up
of
in
it.
the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Yeah.
No, it's wrong.
Because of fake nails, right?
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves.
Thank you.
Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like
What?
Not that complicated. Women, it's you.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Yeah.
Sad that we had to go over
It
that.
should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First,
Well,
we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
For anything, we have to identify the victim.
Tattoo on the hand. It's possible that since she's not doing any military stuff, maybe she does wear fake nails.
Person's exploded body analysis tattoo on right now. Let's see what they're saying.
It's gotta be the tattoo.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
Stop it.
If
then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Is that it?
And there's nothing else we can do, right?
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's it.
No one thing that could tell us on the victim's own body.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
If
then who died?
There's gotta be some
Hero,
way to figure it out.
please don't make me mad.
Just stop talking.
The face was
Yeah,
scorched
please.
beyond
Me?
recognition.
Or just
There
Hero.
wasn't any
Hero,
description in the Monokuma file.
You clearly don't.
Can't identify...
Oh!
No, it's wrong.
I thought you had the purple thing.
It doesn't matter, even get the purple thing.
There was
Actually,
one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
for serious?
She'll die a cruel and unusual death.
What?
Oh, an unusual death. This I gotta see.
You've seen those already,
Just
Hero.
being
You've seen.
stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was. is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
What?
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information, we had the victim's identity. Oh, the thing. Tarp. Account, buddy. Mukuro Ikasaba's profile? Would that be it?
One that mentions Fenrir.
With a tattoo somewhere on their body to represent their membership.
I got it!
Come.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so to show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is Hangman's Gambit.
Wolf.
Oh, it's Wolf. Boom.
Now I understand.
Now I understand.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
Yep.
Tattoo.
That means it's a wolf, right?
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
No.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? Now we have to have a last trial?
Mukuro is not the mastermind.
And thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to
It's
me.
the ultimate soldier.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
The ultimate
After
soldier.
all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Yoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this
What?
whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I
Oh.
have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your
Big old brains.
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no. There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along.
Oh, he's
Nope. There are only 16
Hero,
students in
you
total that
are
have
an
been taking
idiot.
part in these events.
Seriously? Then
But obviously,
one of us can.
Kokoro had a different set of rules, though.
Who did it? Who did this?
Get a hold of yourself.
Because she didn't
List
take
of
part
possible
in
suspects.
any of the other class trials.
No.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects. Makoto and Kyoko?
I got it!
Makoto and Kyoko.
Narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
The only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Dang it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at. Well, it was after nighttime.
Sorry we're not talking much.
Yeah. Class trials are always.
You're probably gonna hear a lot of silence in these class trials.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
I guess so.
What time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right?
9
She
o'clock.
went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? At 9 o'clock.
I got it! The body
Got
must
it.
have been discovered at 9
got it.
a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Let's see. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
Jim, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now.
Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
Yeah, it seems weird he went out of his way to ask you what time it was, though.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah!
7:30.
Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. And I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Okay, so we're doing another make your argument. Frankfurt exploded body analysis, fragments near the dead body.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
What?
There weren't that many to shoot at.
Which?
Sprinklers.
Yeah.
Oh, the sprinklers? Which one was wrong
We've
there?
established a time frame for the murder.
7:30.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
What are these purple things?
Things stick to my ears here.
Wait, what?
Shit. Sorry.
No, I thought that was the answer.
Me too.
We've established a time
Sure,
frame
it's
for the
sprinklers.
murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
Maybe that?
and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that
Because
time.
it's only between 10 o'clock at night and 7:30 are the two choices, right?
That's more than enough time to commit
What?
murder,
Yeah,
I
that's
should
true.
think. So Makoto, if you have any
So it
objections,
means that we're
now
going to
would
have
be
to
the time.
use the words of somebody to break an argument. Then. Unless it's not sprinklers. What were the other two choices?
Fragments of the dead body, and I think it was exploded body analysis, but I'm not sure.
The,
Okay, man.
so the other option is the sprinklers at 10 o'clock at night, but that makes no sense.
No, I can try it. Want me to try it? Well, if she had been there at 10 o'clock at night, then she would have been soaked by the sprinkler.
Yeah.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
No, it's wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you use such a decent word?
What?
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean?
Don't.
Denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my
What?
entire
Oh my God.
existence?
I freaking hate her.
Totally wacko.
If you
Yeah.
think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why.
I think it's pretty
I was
obvious.
going to.
Yeah, I was going to until you interrupted me with your nonsense. Sorry, but I really don't like Toko. She.
No.
Oh God, we're seriously gonna have to bullet time battle over this.
No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing.
3,
I hate you. No, no, no!
4.
I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me?
4, 3.
I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything.
Shit.
How can you say it
You say it was
wasn't the
sprinkler split body
sprinkler?
analysis.
This should prove it.
I couldn't switch.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
God dang it! You
If
should
the
have
sprinklers
done a
got the
bullet
body
time
wet,
battle over that.
Shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom is completely dry. What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Yeah, same.
Move on. The reason only the top half was wet was
Because you dumped water on the fire.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Yes.
Then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
God
So if the
dang.
sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place
Ah!
sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is
So
Kyoko.
suspicion is off me then? Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Makoto's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time, stop wasting energy. You really think your little trick is gonna work?
What trick?
You.
Shut up, you.
Shutting up now.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
What reason did she have?
Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the master. So she killed her to try and prevent this. Isn't that right?
Well, of course she's not gonna say it if she is, in fact, the killer.
Mukuro wasn't
not just
the
gonna say
mastermind
it.
at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
I don't think she's
She
the
had a
killer.
motive and no alibi. Well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the
No,
culprit.
it's too obvious.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient. The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
I mean, that is kind of true.
Tarp.
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
I've got it. The tarp. Oh shit.
Oh, damn it.
There's certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been tarp?
I got it!
I got it! Oh no, god
You're
dang it.
talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
But either way, someone would still have to remove the tarp and put it in
The
after
side that faced
7:30.
down over the body, meanwhile,
Which would be
perfectly
almost
clean.
impossible.
This
Right?
proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place.
Plus, they had to pour the chicken blood.
In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just
Hey, lady!
That's not an excuse. Why would Kyoko say that?
But
Why
how
would
did the
she want to
tarp
make me look like
get
the killer?
removed? It have to have been removed after 7:30.
And then get the chicken blood poured onto it, which would be almost impossible, right? No, I can't think about that right now. No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. We're gonna be doing a bullet time battle?
No.
Okay. Body before the explosion, exploded body analysis, fragments of the dead body. Okay.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one
It's
side
probably
was the
the
sprinkler got that side
body
wet.
analysis before the
But
explosion.
the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Is that it?
Blood on the body hadn't dried yet. So it would have gotten
What?
Covering
Two?
the body with the tarp,
Two?
the killer prevented it from getting wet.
Body before the explosion.
and then
So
that's
the
why it
reason the
didn't get
tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
That one?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Since it was facing down toward the body,
Oh, come on.
This is
You hit
of
the
course it
purple.
didn't get dirty.
Didn't get dirty.
That dang.
dang.
By covering the body
Buggering.
with the tarp,
Bug
the
bucketash.
killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side
Yeah?
is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
Mm-hmm.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the
No,
water.
it's not that one. It's the
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Boom.
No, it's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
Yep.
Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know
wet.
they used it.
Then it would have been wet.
They would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
And also, then that would get wet.
True.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
That I'm thinking the same thing. The blood was camouflage?
After the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then
exactly what
covered
I'm
the body
thinking.
in blood that
Kyoko?
didn't belong to the victim.
Yeah. Come on, Lilac, Mindy.
Me and us are on the right path.
What?
Kyoko and us are on the right path.
Get
Chicken blood.
something like that.
and they probably threw the
I
chicken into
know!
the
He
plant.
could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
No.
That's what Hifumi did,
Yeah.
right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time.
But
The
I
killer
think
got the blood from right there in the garden.
they got blood from right there in the garden.
Chicken.
Chicken.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder,
There were
were
5
5
chickens.
But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood?
Yep.
That's messed up.
Yeah, but some
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful.
Murdered a human, so it's not a big stretch.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene before he was spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing. Basis for my theory.
Goodness.
Sorry.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case,
Yep.
then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
No.
I think so.
No, it wasn't.
Backwards.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
So it was backwards.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settled what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off.
Correct.
The body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned on?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you
What?
met up with Makoto in the dining hall,
What, are you
did
thinking
two
it's
stay
Toko?
together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
Bitch, what you doing?
That's not.
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must
Kyoko.
admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is...
Dang it. And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. What?
Oh,
Sky's dead body. What?
getting a truth bullet during the class
Well
trial?
then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
You're serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey!
Serious.
Decide. Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
No.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
For serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
One we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right?
It was in Makoto's room.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
In our room.
I just remembered.
Listen, more important.
Sorry.
Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it?
We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do.
I don't want it anyway.
So what to do?
But
Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto?
Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Oh, great. Now they're gonna think it's me.
Surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
didn't you just
It's
bring it
not
up?
that I hid it. It's just.
Couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Oh my god! Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Are we gonna bullet time battle?
No, can't
Let's
bullet
do
time
them.
battle everybody.
Guy's dead body, exploded volley analysis, fragments gives a dead body. Basically the same stuff.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No,
there's
nope,
no
that's not it.
question.
That's the one that we need to hit.
Took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay, no.
Guy's dead body. Guy's dead body.
No, it's a pipe, isn't it?
Yeah, saying who's bullet.
Through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Kudo.
It really
This is the
is.
same one.
I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Nope.
Just because I had the knife
Once.
that
That automatically makes me the killer.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Nope.
Right?
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
Don't you remember?
I'm pretty sure we did,
Killer
hero.
covered the
The
dead
dead body
body
before
with
the
the tarp
knife was run
and
through.
then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Is it Monokuma File 5?
I got it!
Monokuma.
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
Then
They
it can't
probably
be me,
stabbed her to
right?
Draw attention away from what
Or-
actually killed her.
For a stab wound? Oh, yeah.
Exploding the body afterward
Toko.
was probably meant to do the same thing.
I love how nobody cared.
No.
It's like-
Oh, right, yeah,
The
Toko.
explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Yep.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bother to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use,
Oh my God,
you know the
I-
answer.
Byakuya.
Well, you're so smart. Just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
Freaking God, hero.
But even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Yeah, seriously.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Only one explanation I could think of for the explosion. The bomb?
Yeah, fragments near the dead body.
I got it!
I got it.
After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere.
The bomb inside the gym?
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute.
So it can't be
They
Makoto,
wanted
right?
the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who
So
would
this is
benefit
another
from
one that meant to
is
pin the
only
crime on
other
Makoto?
possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What
Oh, the
really
thick
killed
pipe
her?
that said it in the Monokuma
I
file?
have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate.
Didn't say for sure. It just said possibly.
It won't
something
change
like
the
a
facts
lighter
of the
metal
case
pipe.
regardless.
Could have been a bunch of
Arrows?
titanium arrows duct taped together, could it?
We need to determine what ultimately killed
That
the
would be
victim.
where the blood on the duct tape and all that stuff.
Need to
would come
concentrate.
From. Titanium arrows coming out.
Monokuma file 5.
Yeah, you would mention that.
Right.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Is that it?
That's true.
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Which one is it? The knife was a cover-up and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh.
Well, that would make sense for a soldier. But the thing he says is right.
Which only
Because
leaves...
no, I don't think it said the back of the head. It just said to the head, right?
I don't remember.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
I
Just
guess...
do that one anyway.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Guess.
Yeah. She was already
Totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was
Oh.
hit on the back of her head.
So,
Shoot.
probably we need to pick something up and use it.
Yeah.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
The bite? And
The
then
victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Is that
The
it?
explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
So maybe
And
it's
it wasn't
pick up
because of the knife, right?
the thing after the Monokuma
then
file
there's
about
only one other
the injury
thing.
to the head and use that for the fatal injury.
According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be
So
it.
pick that
There
up,
was
yeah.
evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Hit on the back of the head and then use it as the fatal injury has
The
to be
victim had
determined.
suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Ew. Oh! What chapter is this? This is chapter 5.
Yeah.
Chapter 5.
You know,
Then, shall we continue the debate? The
Okay,
victim's fatal
so-
injury has yet to be determined,
oh, did I miss it?
correct?
The explosion
That was it.
didn't kill her
Oh.
for sure.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the one that I think we need to hit.
Already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Alrighty. For the first
Then, shall
one.
we continue
I
the
think so.
debate?
Yes.
Let's try
The
it.
victim's fatal
Injury has yet to be determined.
Boom!
Boom!
Gal-
Treat bullet.
Boom!
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
He's a soldier, yeah.
If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Well, thanks for joining us. This is getting pretty crazy.
Yeah. And we need some company.
Definitely a crazy case.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object.
Thick as
A
a
metal
Thick as
pipe.
a
That would be
metal
arrows.
pipe.
duct taped.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
What?
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that,
It'd cave their skull in completely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Way. The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the
Oh.
ground, and spit
Alright,
on it.
seriously, can we
Alright.
bring Genocide Jill back?
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Wait, what?
Seriously?
You want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
Yep.
We already know.
Who is it?
I knew we could
Pretty sure
count
it's
on
the
you,
bundle of
Master.
titanium arrows with the bloody duct
So
tape.
what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Sure have, Byakuya.
Well, we have.
If
Makoto
that,
hasn't
if
yet.
that even is your real name.
Titanium arrows.
Titanium arrow.
Lupero was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed him.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Back,
you.
Dum Dum.
That something was
Welcome
the
back,
titanium
Dum Dum.
arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the Cobra attacked
No,
Rukuro
a
with?
bunch of arrows.
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Yeah,
It does.
How dare you backtalk, Master?
I mean, it would be weird if it was a single arrow.
Not.
yeah.
You know what?
I'm not talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
Even still, titanium arrows wouldn't be very heavy. She must have wailed her.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Oh,
Bloody duct tape.
duct tape.
Duct tape.
Bloody duct tape. Oh, bloody
Right
duct tape.
there.
Right there.
The
Oh,
titanium
you're gonna have to switch it to bloody duct tape.
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You
Yes.
don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Too thin?
Talking back to Master,
Oh, shut up.
you have no right!
We're not talking back. Sorry.
I think it's the too thin.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, it's a too thin one. So we don't have to hear that anymore.
The titanium
'Cause I'm
arrow.
getting really sick and tired of
It was in the
Toko.
dojo locker,
Crap.
right? I have no doubt.
Can we please have Genocide Jill back, please?
Yeah, she's
You
easier to
sure?
deal with.
You don't sound convinced.
Then Toko.
Well, because in the Monokuma
Sorry,
file,
I
it
don't
said the weapon
think
must have
very
been about as
highly
thick
of
as a metal
Toko.
pipe, right?
Be honest.
It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, it's wrong.
No, it's wrong.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why
Another weapon?
Killer would
Oh,
use
sorry.
another weapon.
Sorry. My mistake.
inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
Why on earth did they leave the duct tape there?
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn,
Yep.
that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the
It was
dojo.
you, Byakuya.
Oh no.
Are you sure?
You absolutely
He had the key to her room.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
I think it's you, Byakuya.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for
Keep
the
saying
culprit,
that.
there's only
Murderer.
one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Honestly, if I was in Danganronpa.
Yeah, I agree.
Of
Yeah.
course I remember.
I probably would have just died.
Then show us.
Yeah.
Show everyone the evidence that
There's one
proves
comment that I
Kyoko
saw
went
in a
to the
video
dojo.
where it was like, if I was in a trial, if I was in a trial and people were asking me questions, evidence,
Oh, sorry. You were talking, so it just...
like, if I was asked a question about, like, I think where I was, it'd be like, just vote me off already.
I hate it when they do that in Hollywood movies. Like, where were you at 7 a.m. on October the 3rd, 1973?
That was 20 years
It's
ago.
like, I don't know where I was yesterday.
What, you don't have an alibi for a day 20 years ago?
Kyoko was in the dojo is
Why does it matter? It was 20 freaking years ago.
key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
The room she didn't have
In my
access
room?
to.
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true
yeah,
culprit.
it doesn't.
You can't explain
It
this away.
really doesn't prove it.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending
Because
her,
I
aren't you?
don't think it's her.
It's not that I want to defend her. It's just there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me?
Who?
Then does that mean
From
she
the masked person.
she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when? Which could mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it.
Yeah, you should,
Can
jackass.
you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
dickhead,
seeing
you
some
have
sweat.
her key.
I'm seeing some sweat on his face.
Yeah.
What?
The
Yeah,
composure
I
is
should know.
breaking.
Yup.
Should know better than. What does that mean? Are we gonna have to bullet time battle Byakuya? No.
Nope. I'm gonna have to do,
Body was found.
I don't think that's gonna help with anything.
But that's the only thing that we have.
Those words you just spoke.
Picked up a stick.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
Toko,
There's
please.
proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
So
right.
grab there's
Could
proof.
I really have done that?
I think I should grab there's proof
What do you mean?
and then hit that.
Exactly what I said.
Last statement of Kyoko.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room.
It must be the other way around.
Yeah, I guess it's the other way around.
Shoot.
Dang.
Dang.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly.
Danganronpa!
I'm not the king.
Oh, Danganronpa!
You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room.
Correct.
But
What, Mom?
could I really
I didn't
have
say
done
anything. I'm
that?
just reading.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
So
Exactly what I
there's
said.
proof with this one, right?
I'm
Well,
not
it's
the
either
killer.
I'm not the killer or there's proof.
You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
From me?
Oh, shut up, Joko.
There's
Nobody
proof
cares
that
about
you
you.
aren't the culprit.
Boom!
No, it's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Why not?
Because
Because she had
Byakuya
given her
had her
room key to
key.
Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant.
Photos then.
Oh,
She
that.
was exploring the
She
second,
had Monokuma's master key.
so she had gotten in her own room.
I had the key to your room.
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself.
Byakuya.
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie.
Yep.
But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie?
I think she's hoping that he can keep his mouth shut.
Does she really feel that threatened because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier?
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
If she's that committed to not dying, she wouldn't do something stupid like kill somebody.
Yeah. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
The mastermind's trap. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The mastermind's trap? The victim was Makura? And Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can
She told
expose
us
it.
that she would explain everything after the trial.
Yeah,
But
and
who
he can't go
can
around
I
saying
trust?
that she has that key.
Right.
What am I
But
supposed to
Monokuma
do?
already said he knows she has that key. He already knows that she stole stuff.
Right, but Makoto is the only one that knows it's a master key to every room in the
That's
place.
true.
And Kyoko herself told him that.
That's true.
She wouldn't have told him that if she was going to
Mastermind's
use it to try
trap.
to trap him.
If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong?
What do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose
Run
Kyoko's
away.
lie.
Who votes for Let It Go? Thoughts?
Just do it. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko.
I trust Kyoko.
There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
Toko, can you just shut up for like a second?
Nighttime on,
While
I was
trying to
with you
explain
guys
stuff?
the entire time. I couldn't
Please.
possibly have killed anyone or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of.
Who's that?
Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Back to me again?
Yep.
To be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Is it seriously back to me?
You got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Just
A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
honestly, I'd rather be with Genocide Jill than Toko.
Yep.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with you on that.
100%.
Genocide Jill, you know exactly what her MO is.
Class
And exactly.
trials all over.
Toko is just
Her form of crazy is just
just
too much.
I can't stand Toko,
There's no
but
time's up.
I'm kind of digging Genocide Jill, to be honest.
Late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please
Think
vote
we're
using
in
the
trouble
lever
here.
in front of you.
Yeah, because I don't have a solid idea who it was.
Voting time.
Think we done
I think
frick.
we fucked up by going and let it go.
Possibly.
Oh, wait, is it done?
Oh, well, we got an A, but and a bunch of medals or coins or whatever they are.
Now, who will be chosen
But I
as
think
the
we fricked up
Will you
because
make the right
we
choice
chose let it
or the
go.
dreadfully
Which means they're all gonna point at
wrong
us.
one? Hey, hold on. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Oh,
Yep.
oh crap.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, bugger.
Bugger and Bugatash. Frick.
Okay, I'm gonna just say that was my fault.
What? You think I'm the killer?
Sorry, man.
Even Kyoko did it. It's
Oh.
all your fault.
Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't
Okay, they'll
do
find
it.
that out sooner or later, won't they?
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
They got it right. What? No, that's not true.
Definitely.
None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense. It's punishment time. Makes perfect sense. It's a shame. It's the same as always. Just like all the other class trials, I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills,
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I? Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got.
I think we screwed up.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, there's still another chapter. Okay, well, game over. Wait, is that like a permanent thing? Did we just fail?
Did we just lose?
Am I the guy in the rocket ship?
Doesn't look like Makoto.
No, this is in a classroom.
Oh crap. I think we screwed up.
Oh, you're just gonna get crushed. You're getting swamped.
So we just screw up the whole game? Or did we just screw up this trial?
I don't know. Wait, what the hell?
Oh, because I don't think he's been crushed yet.
Turning all weird kinds of purple.
Yeah.
What? No, see? It didn't kill me.
Oh, that was Chihiro. That was Alter Ego that stopped it.
Oh, shit!
Yes!
I knew he wasn't gone!
Woo! Oh, see, Monokuma's like, wait, what?
Alter Ego stopped it. New
Look.
Alter Ego's in the system somewhere.
Yes!
I knew it.
Huh? What is this? What's going on?
Hey, was that? That was you.
Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Alter Ego?
Alter Ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network.
Ha ha ha. Suck it, Monokuma.
Frick you. Can I say this once?
Yeah, go ahead.
Damn it all to hell! I don't believe this!
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What was that?
In other words,
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us.
Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt the thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now. Got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage strewn pit in a way that's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. Still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world.
That's a great laugh.
What, me?
Is he gone? Hey, Kyoto, what's the meaning of all of this? Just what the hell is going on?
calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time. Huh?
In other words,
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you
What are
say?
you talking about?
so
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed.
Massive high school towers all over the other buildings in the bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Wait, what? Hope's Peak Academy
What?
brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school of privilege.
What?
They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. Dude, with hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. Oh,
What?
there are what? There are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. What?
But
Did we just reset the entire game? In standing
we might be finding out some backstory.
standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students?
Do you want to take a super quick couple minute? Be right back, and then we'll see what the hell is going on.
Oh God, was the decision we made?
Was he talking about how he's the most boringness of boring?
No, he wasn't.
So he's not the most boring, this is boring.
Alright, we're just gonna be right back in just a couple minutes.
Oh God, I hope.
Bear with us.
Alright, we're back.
Little dance party?
Little dance party that's going on there.
Sorry, I just had to reset, have a quick bio, and figure out what in the hell is going on. Here we go.
Didn't show it.
Didn't show it.
The emoji things that are. Oh, it showed it on yours though.
Oh, yeah.
It was me. I need to. Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh,
There they are.
now it is. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy.
I've done that many times in grade 10 Canadian history.
What happened? Why? Was it boring?
Oh my god, we're the most boring teacher in the world.
It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now?
To give you an idea, he would turn a desk around, sit at the front of the room, and read the textbook.
Yeah.
And he was so far from caring about his job anymore that the kid that sat in front of me was the student directly in front of him, and that kid would just sleep through the whole class.
And he wouldn't even.
And he didn't care. He just continued.
He was just like the most boring teacher. It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then
Come here, Reggie.
I was awake. Or was this just another dream?
What?
There's a Monokuma in a barrel over there.
That's the thing from the beginning. Remember that rocket ship?
A dream.
Right.
Inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint
Raggy.
of light seeping in.
Wanna go outside, buddy? I don't know if you can hear those little squeaky meows, but that's our tuxedo cat.
Just want to go out on the balcony.
Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I gonna be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me.
Oh, look at that determined look.
That's determined or pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Probably both.
That's not usual Chihiro.
But is
Timid.
that pissed off at what Monokuma was doing to Makoto, or is that pissed off at Makoto?
I don't know.
Probably both. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it.
I think Alter Ego would have known if Makoto was the mastermind. And if he was angry at Makoto, why would he bother stopping the Smasher?
I don't know.
So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of there.
Well, there's a door right up there.
I don't know. The door?
Well, let's look at everything else.
Yeah.
Is that an airplane? How would something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit?
Why does the school have a garbage
Looks like
pit?
more than one, too.
Oh. Okay, let's... This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. Oh, something over here, too. That's a rocket and a tank.
What is going on?
I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here.
No. Let's just try the door.
Let's just go.
I mean,
Probably not gonna be easy though.
it's obviously locked, but
It's locked.
Alrighty.
No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy.
unless Kyoko saves me.
Can we look up?
Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food.
Trash food.
Trash food, the best. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water.
Yep.
Garbage water. How can I be sure?
Yep.
How can I be sure which liquids I can drink? Which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was...
Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long fall.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted.
Sleeping in the trash room.
That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed.
Oh, who knows?
And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky.
Like
He
Kyoko
was tied to
opening
that
the door.
desk, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the desk
Whatever.
smashed when he landed.
Yeah, but the way that the desk smashed.
It fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly.
Crunch?
Get crunch! Whoa, what the? Strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake.
Oh.
As I watched, a pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell up from above. What could it have been?
I guess we're rooting through garbage.
Garbage rooting. Is it Kyoko in a bag?
Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here?
That's not very nice.
Carefully stretched my hand out toward whether whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
Yes. See?
Giant piece of trash. Rude.
She agrees.
Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
She's got noodles on her head.
Awful.
This place smells awful.
Yeah, well, the noodles on your head.
Kyoko?
There's a shrimp there, too.
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected.
What are you doing here?
So,
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you.
Let's go,
I'm
Kyoko!
gonna bust you out.
Glad to hear that, Kyoko.
Andy Dufresne, the only innocent man in Shawshank.
You got a bit of garbage in your hair. He gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
hey,
First, I have something for you. Go
Ooh,
ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished.
nice buns, Kyoko.
Thank you.
They actually do look pretty good.
Snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it's in my mouth and making its way towards my stomach.
Oh, chew, Makoto. Jeez.
Whoa, that really hit the spot.
Like a duck, just...
Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going.
Really, from 2 buns and a bit of water after over a day without eating? Good on you, man.
Good on you.
So, you still haven't given up then?
Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at.
We should probably talk to Kyoko. Maybe she...
Alright, Lilac, let's roll.
But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
so,
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone.
Atone?
you,
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything.
So you knew that I knew.
Of course you did.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you.
Don't say that. You didn't abandon me.
No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life.
Bitch! He punched her in the face.
You were
You're a
trying to save
disgrace.
me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
however,
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive no matter the cost.
Why did you have to survive?
it's true.
I'll tell you everything.
Please do.
The reason I have to survive
In other words,
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do.
What?
Steal all the chalk.
I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason.
Chalk stealing.
So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak.
I really like chalk.
indeed.
That's right. At least I did, once.
Once?
Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was.
You forgot? But that's...
I had no memory of what my purpose was.
No memory? That's
stupid.
impossible.
Remember that time you woke up in a classroom with no memory?
Amnesia?
Then is it really true you lost your memory?
Makoto,
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school?
The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
Did you just say woked up?
Yeah.
And I woke up.
that's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
Did I say woke up?
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was.
Ooh, are we about to find out?
But what would make you forget all that?
Hey,
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient.
I'm the ultimate ass kicker.
Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory.
But why would they want to do that?
There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the Mastermind's plans.
I am the ultimate Mahjong player.
So the Mastermind just stole them from
The
you?
ultimate detective. And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the Mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back.
I've lost my marbles.
That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time.
But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help
Because
you?
none of you can be trusted, ding dong.
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the Mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the Mastermind is actually one of us.
What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right?
The Mastermind?
I like her
One
name.
of
It's
us?
fun to say. Kyoko Kirigiri.
Yeah.
Kyoko Kirigiri. Kyoko Kirigiri. Kyoko Kirigiri. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't bring trust. She couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me.
But why me?
Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the Mastermind. That was just intuition, but
I see. Your intuition is right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the
I am
Mastermind.
completely bland, and
and boring,
there is no defining features in me.
dry toast.
The only defining feature of me is that I'm boring. That's all you need to know. I understand. I should understand everything.
I'm a living
That's what that
sack
dream
of
was.
bland.
Is this what the dream he was having?
To get out of
My goal isn't to get out of here. To stay here. It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
listen.
Are you okay?
Well, it did just fall like
Oh
100
yeah,
fucking feet.
it's
Could
nothing.
have a concussion. I don't know.
It is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Did you know I like the color lilac?
correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced.
But lilac is my favorite color.
Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just your personality. So, should we talk to Kyoko a bit more? You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember everything?
I remember I love lilac.
So
Yeah, that's like the only thing I remember.
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very
Oh,
least,
sorry.
I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability.
The ultimate lilac lover.
You mentioned your ability?
My ability, what everyone should have known me for.
The ultimate.
I'm the
Yeah,
ultimate detective.
totally guessed it.
The ultimate detective?
Yeah, I'm like if Poirot and Miss Marple had a love child.
correct.
That'd be me.
And gross.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy,
Would because I love the color lilac.
there was someone I had to find here in the school.
Bet in that lock.
You had to find someone? Who?
So
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy.
The headmaster? Headmaster. Why did you want to find the headmaster?
Because he's my father.
Whoa!
Dun dun dun.
What?
Well, one look at him, and the lilac is
words.
obvious.
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak.
Okay, but I actually didn't know that. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak headmaster?
Does he have lilac ear hair?
I don't know.
And that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved.
I'll find a way. No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
Well, okay, she seems pissed. And the scars on her hands? I think her dad's probably a dick.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
Or maybe she survived the tragedy
Maybe.
and just got a lot of damage to her, like, defensive
Maybe, I don't
things.
know.
Yeah, maybe she's the only survivor of the tragedy.
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him.
That makes sense.
However,
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear, so there's no misunderstanding.
I don't love you.
I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I'd snuck into the headmaster's room.
Then what did you see in there?
A lot of crusty tissues.
so
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there.
You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found.
What'd you find? What'd you find?
But why there?
Because I also found this in the headmaster's room.
What'd you find? What'd you find? This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Makuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room.
So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there?
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors.
So what was it like? The part of the school, I mean.
It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized. Whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined.
What do you mean?
so
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough.
It sounds like it must be important. And really
Let's use
ominous.
that key to get out of the door.
Yeah, can we, hit the road?
Oh, yeah, I've already done that. There we go. I had no idea what was going on.
Oh, sorry.
It has to do with Makuro Ikasaba, doesn't it?
However,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either.
I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is
So the
directly involved.
Monokuma fucking cheated.
Yep. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Makuro Ikusaba was to get me killed.
Get you killed?
indeed.
I stole that key and
Yeah,
disappeared.
he did say he was going to punish him.
And in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial.
It was.
The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly.
You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly.
With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it.
The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Yo, Reggie. Hi, BB.
hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Makuro Ikusaba.
What's that?
There was a point where Makuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto.
Why?
Yep. And then click.
I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Do you mean... Yep. During the night?
I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death.
What?
I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor.
So Makuro was sent to kill Makoto.
She saved him.
Right, but that wasn't supposed to happen, because then they
No,
wanted to
because
set
Makoto
her up.
was supposed to be the one that ended up dead, and they were going to frame her for it. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
So that was plan B.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me.
So all this would mean that whoever killed Makuro is also the mastermind, right?
indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think.
But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction.
Unless the mastermind is a student.
And it's not just Makuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction.
So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair.
The other ultimate despair?
There's no doubt that Makuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person.
It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event.
You're talking about...
That's right.
What happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
Fever?
the tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this.
Excuse me.
that. Oh,
That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy.
Oh,
Chapter
goodness
5,
gracious.
100 Mile Dash, Pain of a Junk Food Junkie.
Oh no.
What?
Pain of a junk food junkie?
That was the end of that chapter. That was the name of that chapter. It's
Oh.
What? Dream Island Rocket. Yeah, we're saving that.
Oh.
The ultimate
Well,
despair.
do we want to leave it here and pick it up Tamale?
Well, after we can find a good place, obviously. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same
It's a
people...
3-hour stream, so.
Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity.
Cat's being weird.
Our enemy has finally been revealed. What is it? Right now.
Anyway,
Right now, we have to get out of this horrible place.
Yeah, let's do it.
Figuring out the rest of the story can come after.
Yeah, you're right. So are we gonna leave it here? Because you still have that one thing. Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room.
indeed.
Of course I do.
Is it?
It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it.
And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's
I don't know if you
That's
guys
right.
can hear that meowing going on.
Then we should be able to, use it on that door, right? Sure. Hey, Kyoko, we needed that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out.
Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then,
Click.
okay. Woo! Yes, it opened.
Woo.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go.
Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit
Where
of
did we
death.
end up, though? In the school.
Yeah.
Finally, we were finally free. There wasn't even time to take a breath of relief because a real fight had just begun. Chapter 06.
Ultimate pain,
Pain.
ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution,
Ultimate death.
Oh, this is a lovely title for a chapter.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up, like a chimney. What? There's a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Dang. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended.
At least Makoto's a gentleman and went first.
Yeah.
We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Right, you're on tail chasing duty right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's you, Mom.
You know, it's your own tail, stupid.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you.
Yeah, I'll be careful. Immediately falls. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will keep my mind off of it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work?
How long?
6 weeks.
So,
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood.
She's a legacy dick.
There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way.
Then is your family famous?
wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually.
They're losers.
Just like you!
Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us.
Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
Because we take pride in it.
pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence.
A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride.
Pride. So that explains
Lions.
lions. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about here. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
They're lions. Oh my god, I cracked the case.
They're lions, yes!
However,
And yet, I gave up some of that pride.
Huh?
In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school.
Ew.
I did it knowing it was something of a true Kirigiri detective would never do.
But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to... Celestia Ludenberg 15. Hello.
Hey ho!
Oh, hello.
How are you? Thanks for joining us.
We're on the final chapter of this game. Oh, that was probably... I didn't get to read.
Oh, sorry.
It's because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father.
Huh?
Well, where do you think she got the scars from, numbnuts?
But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about. I'm good. That's good.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There is something I want to say to him, though.
Rubber monkey flubber buckets?
Rubber baby buggy bumpers?
That's what I was trying to think.
What?
That was close.
No.
No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face.
What is it?
so...
I want to sever all ties with him.
Sever?
His head.
The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future,
However,
but he had no interest in detective work.
He had a crippling paperclip addiction.
So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind.
Douche.
I'm sure there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I'm sure your deadbeat dad's cool.
He just has a few problems, that's all. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do.
Ouch.
I take pride in my family name.
Big.
So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective.
I was
You
above.
guys should probably keep climbing.
Yeah.
You're kind of just standing there. I think you skipped something, but I'm not sure.
No.
I
You
was
need to read this.
I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I could see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self. She was more talkative
She's drunk.
and more emotional. She's
I
high.
don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
But there's one thing. One thing that I can never forgive.
Really?
He doesn't like jubes.
so...
The
That-
way everyone else looked at me.
Hold on.
I was never sad about being left
Hold on,
behind.
Dad, don't hit the A button.
Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
He doesn't like jujubes. That's an Avengers level threat.
However,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it.
It's not even lilac.
I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
correct.
That is why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago.
I really doubt that.
But your family, did you just cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more.
Lilac blood.
Lilac blood.
Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey,
Is blood really enough to call someone family?
Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul.
I really wonder what was on Kyoko's DVD.
Yeah.
I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond.
Remember she said she can't say what was on it.
Yeah.
Not that she didn't want to.
Yeah.
So instead, I said nothing.
Yeah, you might want to keep climbing.
Yeah, you're like hours away. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after, I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Immediately falls down.
Oh, sorry. I added a fart joke. That was...
Looks like this is it.
Oh, is that thing right inside the trash room? Right before the gate?
Could be.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us.
We're back.
We're back!
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble.
Whoa. She unlocked it earlier to gain access to where Makoto was, right?
Yeah.
There's a ladder.
She unlocked it, she didn't necessarily open it.
Well, she fell.
No, because she couldn't have fallen because of the door. They went through the door and then climbed up this ladder. She fell from somewhere else.
Right, that's true. Okay.
She just unlocked it.
Nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch.
Here's Johnny.
No, here's Makoto and Lilac. The hatch opened with ease, and so our Lilac blood.
Kyoko, your hair smells like cup of noodle.
And Lilac, looks like we're back.
But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted.
I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you.
That is literally true.
No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor.
All thanks necessary. This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never would have imagined that's where this led.
You never would have imagined that the grate in the floor in the garbage room led down to the garbage pit?
Wow, Makoto.
Real detective. So now what do we do?
Why does she keep this ding-dong around?
I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might.
Oh, they already know. There's cameras and...
Here's Celestia.
She was a crazy cat.
Who was? Celestia?
Celeste, yeah.
Listen.
You're worried?
Yeah, of course.
So
Then, let's just get a concrete answer.
Sure.
Huh?
in other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping.
Well, wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. It's not like we can run away.
As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera.
Ding, ding, ding.
So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now?
Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared.
So you keep saying.
The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Makuro's death.
Ew.
There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down.
The mastermind is Anthony Weiner.
There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations.
I'm still super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going.
Okay.
So what's everybody's vote? What are we doing?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
I really want to keep going, but...
You in?
A little bit longer, I guess.
All right.
Whoa!
Let's go talk to Monokuma and see where that goes from there.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Jim, man, let's move it. mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead! What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I'm gonna punish you again. This time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko.
Do whatever you feel you have to.
What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing. If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh? I lose? You
Well,
explain
Makoto already
yourself.
went through
What do you
execution,
mean
right?
by that?
You can't execute somebody twice.
because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right?
Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right,
And in response to that unexpected development,
indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that.
No more than that.
Yeah. I know, I was about to read, but then you started talking.
Oh, sorry.
You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery.
Alter ego.
Yeah. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much.
Oh, snap and burn.
If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right?
And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well,
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't.
Don't just say it like that. What is this? A comedy routine to make such bold claims on a shred of evidence?
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth.
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution, he would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
what the heck?
Isn't that supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
Huh?
Oh, she's playing the crowd card.
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Ooh.
Hey.
Oh, he's getting mad now.
Of course, you can say we're just making all this up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat.
Whoa!
Claws are out. If you want to earn our despair, fair and square,
That's what we have to
then
do.
I suggest you take my advice.
Damn.
So what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makuro's trial over again.
Oh!
Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
Oh
Hey,
shit.
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say?
A fair trial. One last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Makuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting. Barry? Oh god. Barry! Interesting indeed! Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for Barry jokes! Now, what you suggested might be possible.
Oh, this really? Monokuma?
You surely make for one honey of a climax.
Yeah, no. Who am I fooling? I love the.
In other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You
If you
guys!
do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right?
No, buddy. Little tuxie cat here beside me.
It would cause you unbearable despair, right? And I'm prepared to agree to your terms.
Really, man?
Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can
Let's have
barely
one final
contain myself!
grisly showdown. He agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is a long-awaited climax, right? Just get the killers barely fitting in.
You
When will it
guys!
stop?
So with this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all
Oh
the mysteries
my
that have been
God.
buried
Just keep
here.
going.
All the mysteries. That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
Sorry, that was my favorite one.
I'm sorry. This
Qualify.
guy's got skills.
it's true.
It's what we've been trying to do all along.
Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. You can claw your way to the truth of Makuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school.
You
Then
guys!
you win. But if you can't do all of that, did you finally stop?
We'll all face execution, right?
I can barely contain my excitement. No. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me?
We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair?
I honestly can't believe how this all turned out.
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
Hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement?
You don't have to be so suspicious. I said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. Having a trial from Makuro is no exception to that. Huh? Makuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Makuro it's a very polarizing approach. I know. Polarizing approach. I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope Peak Academy since the killing game began are those 16 students! What?
Listen, are you telling the truth?
Why'd it go quiet all of a sudden? I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you.
Well, that was,
Very. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad?
He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey, leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You really gonna let me go?
That seems pretty cagey.
I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. You need to start getting it ready. Super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
I don't know how to do that.
Come on, Makoto, let's go.
I do like. Okay.
You sound like a squirrel or something.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. Just like that, we were out of the gym. Okay. For some reason, I thought the other student that scared me a little bit. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. Still had my life. We still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. So does the rest of the students think Makoto is dead? Or no? Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. So we should probably talk to Kyoko.
What's the vote?
Let's talk to her
And then we'll end. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us.
Yeah, true.
But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal.
But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so,
They had no choice but to accept.
Huh?
because,
It's all because of that one moment that the masterminds let down their guard, like I said.
So, when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
so,
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right?
Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen,
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right?
I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow the mastermind was able to do it.
Because he's a mastermind, probably.
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult.
A reason?
so,
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other.
They wanted to show the world?
it would seem,
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Those stupid regulations didn't exist. Nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words,
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world.
But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely.
Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept.
Well, you're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair. The mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair.
What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope?
Yep.
But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
Easier.
You're right. It is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
I will say that negativity and despair is easier
Yeah.
than positivity and hope.
But is that really their reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness.
What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least, that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that is why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So that means, can I read this line? then?
Sure.
That is precisely the reason.
No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer.
But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer.
And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they had violated their own regulations.
But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believed in me, another path opened up.
Still, I can't believe how much the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet.
She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief.
To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time.
I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him.
Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I'd showed my uneasiness, that it would have just made you that much more uneasy.
Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time,
correct.
or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing.
You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on.
True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind.
Work together with everyone.
however,
Is that really possible?
Huh?
Anyway, right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Okay.
Yep,
All
okay.
right,
So
folks.
stop.
Yeah, we need to stop now. Oh
This,
boy! This is
seems like a good place to end this stream.
probably the most intense one yet. To be honest.
Wow.
We actually, Makoto actually survived an execution.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright.
Makoto survived an execution. That's the first time somebody has actually survived an execution.
Good Lord.
Good Lord
Well,
Almighty.
So, thank you for joining us. We really
thank
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love to have some chat going on.
Yeah.
So we're gonna come back probably
Tomorrow?
maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday.
Yeah, one of the two or both. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was a pretty intense one. It was nice being on this stream.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We try to make it fun.
Yeah, hopefully it was fun.
So we're gonna head out, and thank you so much. Do you guys have anything you want to say?
I can't wait to play the second one. After
Yeah.
this. To be honest.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna do that on like my account and stuff?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, so there's 2 more games that I'd love to go through.
Yeah.
Just having fun.
It was. Thank you.
The whole whodunit aspect
It's just
is great.
Anytime there's some kind of like mystery detective and let's solve this stuff, I'm down. So.
yeah. I don't think there's gonna be a single time where I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm not feeling Danganronpa tonight.
Yeah.
I'm always ready for Danganronpa.
So I've seen visual novels before. Oh, thank you, Animal.
Thank you.
And things like Doki Doki,
Literature Club.
stuff like that. I realize Doki Doki's a bit of a horror thing, and then there's that something Academy. At any rate, those are like dating sims.
Yeah.
Not really into that shit, but
Yeah. I played Doki.
this has been pretty great.
Yeah. I have played Doki Doki and stuff, and I liked it, but I like this better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Alright. Well, with that, we're going to sign off.
Yep.
Thank you
Getting
for
late.
joining us. Thank you for joining us, Celestia and Animal. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I will say goodbye. And again, thank you. So passing it on to Jack.
Doki Doki is very interesting.
It is.
Yeah. It is.
Jack, do you want to make your goodbye?
See ya.
On.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Alright, so we're gonna head out, but thank you everyone for joining us. It's fun to have people with us. And eat bananas, they're good for you.
Eat bananas.
I thought you were gonna go for the bananas. And just remember, kids, bananas are evil.
And
Good
ice
night.
cream is made of concrete. No.
I